Hi, I'm Mike Forgie. I'm a agency owner out of New Jersey. I run a local marketing agency. Usually we focus on local SEO and recently local AI recommendations. And we also offer on the sub level is website design and management. Plus, we do the local advertising, a lot to do with search ads and that environment, and then some meta ads and things like that, or social ads if we need to.
Awesome, man. And what made you interested in working with me in the first place?
Uh, well, definitely the mastermind thing that we did right in the beginning to give me like some sort of taste of what it's going to be. That was like the biggest pivot to be like, all right, I'm going to pay for this. But I'm always looking for new influences outside of myself. So I'm very like independent. I can research information, figure it out, but when you're kind of like a solopreneur, entrepreneur, agency owner, even having a team, you need some sort of influence, outside influence, and kind of sounding boards, things like that, and guidance. So rather than just going at it alone, I always know I need some sort of outside help to help me think of things that I'm not even thinking of.
Hmm. Absolutely. And there in the market, there's a lot of people that do like agency growth programs and things like that. Were there other ones that you were looking at before moving forward with us?
At the time, so I did things every month and quarter. I did a different focus. So one in the beginning of the year, I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to scale the agency. I'm going to try some outreach partners. I'm going to try things like that. And when they didn't work, it was half them, half me. Like sometimes it's like, hey, your system's not working. What is my system not working? So that brought me back into where are we going to go with getting better for myself. I did look at a few different. I get hit up by like the coaches all the time, and a lot of them have their own agenda. I'm trying to think of what other one I was interested in. I had somebody else reaching out to me that was in a group that you and I were in, and it's almost like at the same time. So I had the choice between you and somebody else, and your approach was better. Was like very relaxed, not like I'm selling you a service, not like I'm selling this. It was like, Mike, if you need help, this will help you choose if you need help. If you don't, it'll help you choose what to do next. So that was pretty much it. I do remember, I can't remember who it was, who the other person was. Also, I don't really have to name them. But that was it. It was like between you and somebody else. I knew I needed help. I knew I wanted some coaching. I do like coaching. I like people kind of being like, Mike, either I'm going to tell you what to do so that you figure out what to actually implement, or like just lead you there. But that was it. Yeah, those are the reason why I went with you. Your approach was just way more. I don't know. I'm not going to say softer. Resonated more.
Like
That was it.
personal or like human?
Yeah, as a human, you were more approachable, more the words you use, the agenda that you had was like very welcoming. Not like I'm doing this, you have a chance. It's like, hey, this is what I do. Why don't you come check it out? Was more of like what brought me in.
Hmm. Awesome, man. And before working together, what was kind of like the biggest pain or problem that you were experiencing that made you want to move forward with somebody?
Hmm. In my head a lot, was doing a lot of the same. I feel like I hit my level of competence. I'm pretty good at figuring things out, and then I burn out a little bit. That was a big one. I was like hitting my level of competence and just knew I needed somebody to kind of take me to the next level, even if it's like a temporary thing. Like I always like to say things sometimes are cyclical. Um, so far, I enjoy everything we do, like our quarterlies and all stuff like that. But like, not to say I would outgrow you, but like, I would be like, all right, cool. Like, this is worth it for exactly what I need right
Hmm. Hmm. Awesome. What led towards the urgency? Like, what made it urgent to solve it now or move forward now?
now. So one thought in my head was like, obviously with AI and everything coming on, I'm going to be 40 this year. And then I look at it, I'm like, where was I in my 20s and 30s looking at people older in the marketing like world? Were they outdated? Was it stuff like that? And I was like, all right, I don't want to be outdated. I do like what I do. I love learning it, and I got a whole new passion for it when AI came on, and like was really dumped in because I'm like, all right, cool. How do I figure this out? So the urgency was more like I could repeat what I'm doing and do okay, and see what I'm doing is going to eventually fizzle, or and grasp at people who just need what I'm doing. Or I can level up and go, like, what am I really providing to these people? And I think one thing that you said was, we're not like, I'm not an SEO agency. I'm very much like an asset to a company. I am like, what I do helps them build what they want. It's not SEO, it's really that. And I'm like, okay, so these people are going to eventually say, I want more business. My optimization does that. My now I need to learn the next level. So as a human, what do I need to do? Like that's the urgency. What do I need to do to be that person now? That was a big one. It's like the systems are going to constantly change, the environment's going to change, but what do I need to do to change to grow? Because I don't want to stay stagnant and then be like regret things later.
Mm-hmm. And what if you had never solved that problem? Like we're not getting the support. It didn't have like what would happen?
I'd probably have tried a few different things. I'm very testing. Like I like to test things and try different products and try different stuff. I might have purchased a new cold outreach thing, or purchased ads and used what I knew. Um, Maybe did a different offer, maybe did something like that. I know that I would have tested a lot more. Um, Leaning into the probably I did consulting for a while, and I saw myself being like, am I just someone that people talk to now? And did I want to dedicate time for money like that anymore? So I could see myself trying those things, but not fully jumping in on one thing and being like, I would definitely not be tracking what I'm doing the way I'm doing. It would be a lot more
Mm-hmm.
feel than
Mm-hmm.
actual metrics. I could tell that.
Mm-hmm. And just thinking back to the time before working together, was there anything that was kind of like keeping you up at night or staring at a ceiling at 1 in the morning, thinking about like, I got to solve this or painful problem?
Not figuring it out and not knowing what I should care about was a lot. I've done a lot of social media marketing, trying to build my LinkedIn profile. Like I went from, I don't know, a couple, maybe like 1,000 connections to now I'm at like 8,000, and still not seeing the metrics of like, oh, I popped off with virality. That I'm not doing it for that reason. And it was kind of like I mentally, I knew I wasn't doing it for that reason of being like, I need more likes and stuff. But seeing it, I was like, why does this even matter to me? That kind of laid it out. And then I was like, it's more, if I'm going to be on social media, I have to talk the language of those people and expect, like, if I have to appeal to mass markets, if I want mass exposure and response. But for me, I don't want to run an agency that's got, I don't know, like 1,000 clients and I have to sit there all the time. So at night, it was like, where's my balance? What am I doing? What do I care about? Why do I care about these things? Like, there's a lot of just like what ifs. Like, what if I just stayed where I am and figured it out? What do I actually care about? Am I the same as everyone else? Am I just offering SEO the way everyone else is offering it? Does that make me any different? Then I see people like popping off on branding and copy, and I'm like, dude, I was a copywriter forever. Like that's how I started a lot of what I did in my business was being a publicist and a copywriter. And now I see PR is now a trend, and it's like everything's cyclical. So kind of thinking like, where am I and what do I want to do next? Like, is the juice worth the squeeze to run an agency? Or did I want to go just get a simple job and not care and be like, all right, cool, someone else pay me? Like, would I hate it? No, because I'm pretty good at setting boundaries jobs. I'm like, if I finish my work, I want to leave. and that's why I started an agency. But yeah, it was like up at night was a lot of, man, what if? What am I doing? Where do I want to go next?
Mm-hmm. And bringing yourself to the place where you pulled the trigger and moved forward, was there anything that kind of happened that made you move forward, or what was the thing that kind of moved you forward?
It was definitely the mastermind, whatever. Yeah, the masterclass, mastermind. That was the big one where we're like, hey, we're gonna do this for free. You're gonna be in with two other people who are also just trying it out and seeing what it's like, and like by the end of it, you're gonna have like some sort of clarity and some sort of value. And like I don't remember the exact words, obviously, because it was just like, hey, like I knew once I started doing it and we started really mapping things out, um, that changed a lot. And realizing if this is what we're going to be doing regularly in just a group, not even like I haven't even done a one-on-one with you like yet, where it's just me and you. If we're doing group stuff where we hold each other accountable and we talk about it openly, that really helped because that was the communal thing I needed. Whereas like you don't feel it is a lonely road just starting an agency, then trying to scale it and growing it, and even having a team, it's lonely. You're the one that's making decisions that has to really do stuff. So that was the big one where it was like, hey, these guys are also similar to me. Some are very much like me in our group, but the two that I was with were like, these people are similar to me. They're kind of having uh, um, issues that were in their businesses in the same realm. And that was a big one where it's like, hey, I resonate with this. I could if they're doing this and they're interested, and we're all kind of getting this aha moment regularly in this mastermind. Yeah, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, man. For anybody that doesn't really know the program or the mastermind, how would you describe it to somebody who has no idea what it actually is?
The mastermind is like a taste, a morsel of what the group is like. You're gonna in the group, you're gonna do the same type of stuff. Like when we do our rank this red, yellow, green, and then review that, it's like that is a core component of what you're going to do. Um, it's like our quarterly. That where I feel like our quarterly is very good at being like that's a version of the mastermind. So like you could actually probably take what you do in the mastermind, figure some stuff out, have like a good maybe like months, 2 month, 3 month if you're really good of like this is what I got to fix, and have a good quarter. But if you're like anyone else, you're gonna get distracted or lose a little focus. The group is the support and the rest of it. That's going to take everything you learn in the mastermind to take it to the next level. So I think I also came at the mastermind at a good time because we did the taste of that, and then we did the quarterly quickly after. We had our quarterly meeting, which is like deep, deep dive. Like you need 2 days, lots of hours. It's great. It seems daunting, but it's actually like I don't know if I'm gonna use this word cathartic correctly, therapeutic. Um, it's really nice, but that's where you get it from. I think the mastermind's a taste of how deep you're gonna go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And for anybody that doesn't know, when we talk about Mastermind, so Mastermind is the continuity offer. Masterclass is the actual event that kind of gives you a taste of what's inside of it. And
Masterclass. There you go. Masterclass. Sorry.
yeah, it's okay. So let's go back to that just for a second. And when we think about implementation and continuity, so somebody gets an experience, whether it's an accelerator or one of our events, and then kind of moves into continuity. What's the difference between those? Do you like? Can you describe the continuity piece, like us working together on a weekly, monthly basis?
Sorry, can you clarify that just a little bit? Sorry.
It's okay. So for somebody who doesn't know about the continuity piece, like what we're doing on a weekly basis, the collab calls and the
Okay.
trainings and so forth, can you describe that just a little bit?
Cloud calls are honestly, I'm usually in on Mondays. It's like my I'll be there later today. Uh, it's a good place to kind of you're bringing an intention and an issue or something like that, and rather than getting like a complete 100% solution, you're like talking about it, bringing it up, resonating with everyone else that's there, and then from there it's like you go, all right, what am I going to do? How am I going to attack that? Or it's something you've been working on or you want to work on, something that you need clarity on. I feel the continuity is more like if you set a quarterly task, you're gonna get distracted by other things as an agency owner. That's it's simple as that. Like for example, I started as like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to hold these people accountable. I want more stuff. It is now, I took a lot back as the CEO of the agency, doing a lot of the work, which I was afraid of, doing a lot of the work myself. And that's like, I want more time. I want to offload that work. But when we did our continuity, I set this goal and it wasn't happening. And maybe mid through the quarter, I discussed it and I was like, hey, here's the issues I'm having. I want this. This is my end goal. Is like I always want more time. I value time over money, but I was spending a lot of money and then doing work that would have cost me money. So like our continuity was convincing me, not convincing, or supporting the fact that I'm not hitting that quarterly goal. And whether I'm realizing it because I'm not in my head going, oh, I need this thing, I need this thing. Now I'm harping on why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Continuity supported me going, Mike, you have this goal. It's okay to temporarily take on all this work to figure out a better solution. And if you're willing to do it, this is what you should do. If you're not willing to do it, you need to find another solution for that problem. So that's really like the continuity is much, it's the support for what you really want. And you kind of come to it. Sometimes it's like we come to it on our own, and sometimes you're like, I'm going to tell you this. This is a hard stop statement. Like this will happen if you keep doing this. This will happen because metrically, like that's what made sense, and we talked about that. Like you will continue to pay these people this much amount of money, and they will only do this thing because that's how you set it. Or you will change it, reevaluate, and then you can come and say, I will now pay you this much money to do these specific things, and it'll be a more value. You kind of broke that down. And that's like that hard continuity thing. It's like sometimes it's hard. You just tell us. Sometimes it's like you need to make this decision on how you want to do it.
Mm-hmm. It seems like the way that you're describing continuity is that you can bring obstacles, challenges into a collab call, work through it, and determine what is the best thing for you and your business. And regardless of the choice, you're able to be supported and looking at it from different angles. So that way, does it save you time and energy and effort and kind of like having that clarity where you can just show up at a call and be able to get next action steps?
Yeah, all that. So I love that it does obviously save me time and decision. Also, I'm the type of person. I'm a analysis paralysis. I will constantly think of things and be like, okay, what do I do? And then I'll be like, I'm a little burnt out. I got to go for a walk, and then maybe I don't take action. Sometimes if I'm in my head and I'm like, all right, I don't have anything to contribute. I'll join some of the calls. Like I joined on Thursday just to listen in because I knew other people in the call were in it. And I was like, oh, I want to see what they're doing. They're really good at explaining on a level that I'm not. And it helps to be like, I'm not alone in this. Their problems are adjacent to mine. And we learn from it. And then I might know something they don't. They might ask a question that I can help on. But I don't always come just to be like, I need help with stuff. Sometimes I come just be like, I'm not alone. I feel good. I got the support I need, and I can also be of a support. Um, and it feels good to contribute because you're like, oh, maybe I am doing better than I think I am.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And prior to this, and what kind of brought us into this conversation was something happened in your business that you had originally had as a goal when we first started working together, and you accomplished your goal. So, can you talk a little bit about what that goal was, and then what did you accomplish? What results have you seen since working together?
Cool. So I'm my agency started as a white label agency, and now I want to launch it as a direct to customer. Um, One of the problems is pricing. I got very comfortable. I'm a comfortable person, time over money. I got very comfortable with the money that was coming in and fulfilling. And then I was like, I'm going to be stagnant or I'm going to start just basically dwindling out at this point. Wasn't getting new clients, wasn't getting anything like that from my white label partners. I thought bringing on more partners would work, and I did. It actually made things even harder. So I realized, like, we discussed, like, what does my agency growth look like? I have chosen a niche, but at the time I was prospecting somebody. So I have a niche that I go for, but I also have somebody that was, it's relative that to that niche. It's in the same kind of like sphere, and I was getting ready to pitch them. So I'm used to maybe at max $1,500 a month per client as a white labeler. Usually it's in that 750 range, a little, maybe a little more. Um, and that time to money kind of stinks. You know, you get a lot of those and still have to fulfill. These clients still want their stuff. So we discussed just raising prices and being like, hey man, this is what I'm worth. So I actually had the time, the client has changed and purchased different packages, but the package went from like, I could pitch this at 1250 and be like, cool, that's like a okay price. I could sure do this at 1500, be like, all right, cool, now I'm at the max of my white label, but I'm getting all that money. And that should be like what I'm at. Like if my white labels doubled everything I did, which they were just doubling the price in most cases. It's like, hey man, I should be doing that. And then you said, why are you selling yourself short? These people will pay you way more. Why not just pitch higher? And I did. So I developed a whole plan, marketing analysis, like everything that we were doing. I brought that back and forth with you and the group before I even presented it, and we fine tuned it. I believe I used the executive assistant, and I don't think we used the IC. We might use the ICP assistant. I can't remember because it's been a little while. That you actually gave us, helped us set up with all of the things that we do. It's a GPT. There are two different GPTs. Created a plan, and that client now landed their. They landed for their first month alone was two websites, $10,000. So that's 1 month at 10,000. Then each of those, because they were one client that was just going to be one client, one website, one thing. Now it's two two clients within that where I'm doing 4,000 to 5,000 for each SEO because we're scaling them. They're multi-location, so that's where it comes in. So they went from 1,500. Okay, this would be great to now 4,000. And to the cherry on top of this is I build the highest invoice I've ever done because I do use contractors. So my first invoice was for $19,700. And usually my highest invoices are for like 2,500. This one was for 19,700. And um, some of that goes towards advertising specialists. This is not counting ad spend. This is just contract advertising specialist, and then media buying specialists because they also do like TV, other stuff. So those people were paid for things that I'm not going to do. Paid them. Then the two websites are me and my developer, and I have a great developer who does a base price and everything. So my ROI on this is pretty high.
Yeah. So typical invoice before working together was right around maybe 1 or 2,000, and then the last invoice that you did was close to 20.
Yeah. So probably a 20x. I'd say a 20x to 10x between what it is.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, last two questions. First one is it worth it?
Yeah,
Is it worth
totally.
go? Yeah.
Totally worth it. And whatever you define it is for me, it was, am I getting the support I need? Am I getting structure I need? And do I feel better about what I'm doing? Yeah, that's what makes it worth it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And then for people that are on the fence, what would you say to them?
If they haven't done the master class, they have to do the master class. That's like the 100%. Um, you can message me and ask me. I will be an advocate for Jesse, but also if you have a different situation, like I can tell you if you're worried. if you're stressed about money, don't invest into things. Like give yourself a goal. That's a big thing that I learned with investing into any type of business or anything. If you're like, I don't have this money, then you can't do it. You need to understand that you're in a stressful you're in a stressful place, and stressing money while stressing growth or this is it's not going to help you. But if you're just like, where do I spend my money? Uh, if you have the money to spend on coaching and that coaching gets you an ROI on that, then yes, you should most definitely be doing it. You, if you know it all, you don't. There's no reason why you're even here. Like, why are you doing you? You probably never would have connected with Jesse anyway. So you knew it all. We want to learn from you. If you are in any sort of, I don't know what to do next, or I want more clarity, I want more support, I want a group, I want to know what I don't know, do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm. Awesome, man. Anything last that you want to share?
Um, I think just overall, I my unique position is I the model of what we believe like an agency is and the deliverables. I saw so much parallels with other agencies and what they book and what they do. And then I realized I'm not these I'm not the same as them. And we have different goals. The crazy part is like when you're in this quarterly group, you're gonna realize like, oh my God, we're all so similar, but we're also different models. It's gonna be on you and it's okay. Like I want to be lean. A lot of people are like, I want to make $10 million this year. And I'm like, if if it means that I can have more time, yes. If it means that I will be working 80 hours a week, it's not going to happen. And my success is different than other people's. That's really the biggest thing is like, I think if you think this is, I'm going to be another pop out of something else, it's like, no, you're going to define everything you need for you and how your agency is structured. And especially with things moving, like I see a lot of agencies changing. Like what we discuss, scalable teams. I'm sure Jesse has come across where scalable teams meant way more people at one point, and now it means less. So it's for you. Um, I'm going to be way different than someone that has a $20,000 a month product or service and has fulfillment teams and different types of responsibilities. So that's where you want to figure out what where is it for you.
Mm-hmm. Feels like you've defined your own version of success. You have the support that's needed. You see similarities with the people that you're working with within the mastermind, but you also notice the differences between each one of them, and you're getting the support that's needed on your individual journey. Am I hearing that
Yeah.
correctly?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. And it's like it is life stuff. We do. I feel like we were also talking about agencies. This is life. Like we do to discuss is like, what do you want? What's holding you back right now? And it's totally fine to be like, hey man, this is what I'm going through personally, and that's what's affecting the agency, and that will, as the owner, your life and your business are very connected. So
Mm-hmm.
we do
Awesome,
talk
Mike.
about all that stuff, and it's
Yeah.
cool.
Cool. Well, Mike, I appreciate you sharing your experience with us, and I look forward to continuing to work together.
I do too.